All right. Hey, this is Sid Owsley from the Determination Determines Destination podcast, the 3Ds to Success, where we share stories of people who use what I call the 3Ds to Success. Determination determines destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in their life. And today I have Mary Ellen. She has many accomplishments. She's the executive producer of Conversations Live radio station, Truth of the Day segments with Cyrus Webb of Conversations Live Radio. Her first book, Healing Words, Life Lessons, published by Tate Publishing, was nationally released on February 22nd, 2011. Good morning, Mary Ellen. How are you?
Good morning, Sid. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be with you.
It's great to have you here. And please tell us how you use what I call the 3Ds to success. Determination determines destination in your life.
Okay. I think I always had to be determined as a child. When I was 6 years old, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And of course, being 6, I was in the first grade and I had no idea why everybody was so upset. And I was determined not to allow that to hold me back, no matter what I did. So I kind of did things anyway. I was very fortunate. I had a mild case that could be controlled with medication. So I went on through high school and all that. And then after my first husband left, about 1986, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Wow.
Well, I was already a pretty determined person. I mean, my daddy used to say, Mary Ellen, you'd beat a dead horse with a stick and tell it to get up. And I was like, yeah, I probably would. And, I thought, well, it was with 1986. There were no medications for MS back then. And so I was already working out a lot. I mean, I was a workout instructor, yoga, Pilates, all these kinds of things. So I looked at her and I said, well, can I still work out? And she goes, sure. So I kept working out and I kept looking for natural ways to heal myself. And in finding these natural ways, I found my own spiritual path of seeking truth and just exactly what truth is. So my determination to become healed or to become normal, I always wanted to be normal. And I thought, and then somebody told me once, well, why do you want to be normal? You're extra special. Everybody's extra special. And I'm like, that's really good. I like that. So my determination defined my own healing, defined my destination for where I am with you now. And I have 2 books out, Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire, and another one called Truth, Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healing. And I post the Truth of the Day all over the internet. They are now syndicated into iHeartRadio and WYAD-FM in Mississippi and Conversations Live Radio Network. So just being determined and doing I tell people do one thing every day to connect with somebody. And if they say, hey, come on and tell your story, that's fine. And if they don't, just find somebody else the next day. Just you have to be determined if you really want to achieve that purpose and goal and success.
That is so true. Yeah. So tell us more about your books, what they're about, how they impact people.
Well, the first one that came out, this is the second edition of the first one, Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire. And it came out in 2011 on my birthday. And I had heard all these vignettes from God. I mean, I really heard these things. I mean, in fact, my husband I'm married to now, he thought I was having a breakdown because I just started writing and I couldn't stop writing. And he even told me, well, let's go shopping. And I was like, no, can't go. I got to write. He goes, you can't go shopping, excuse me. And I kept writing them and I wrote longhand on legal pads. I was a middle school teacher for a long time. And I brought them home and I set them down and I walked away from them. And every time I would clean that room, I would see those 5 legal pads. So one time when Pete was out of town, I sat down and I transposed them on the computer from the legal pads to the vignettes in the form they are now, because they're in a poetry form. And then I sent it off to Tate and they picked it up and they published it. And what I tell people is, read the book all the way through. It's a short, little tiny book, and you could read all these vignettes in one day and then pick it up and flip to one of them and keep it with you all day as you go through your day. Come back and reread it at night to see what you learned about you. because that's what your life journey is about. Learning about yourself. It's not about anybody else. It is all about you and your success and your opportunities. And then in order to promote Healing Words on the internet, my publisher said, well, you got to get on Facebook. I was like, no, I don't want to get on Facebook. I don't want to get on the internet. Please, no. And she goes, well, you have to. Yeah. So I thought, well, how can I promote Healing Words in a little bit different way, but the same way? So I came up with posting a truth of the day. And that was back in 2011. And I've been posting one every day since then. And then my follower, and this is the truth book, Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healing. And there are 366, whoops, I can't do it right, of my truths of the day in this book, so that you can take this book and you can read one a day. You can flip to one of them, and it helps guide you on your journey towards success and healing and love and peace and encouragement and inspiring others and doing all those good things that all of us have to do. And they've got all 5-star reviews on Amazon. You can pick them up through my website at askmaryellen.com. All of my links are there to my YouTube channel. I have a Miracles with Mary Ellen podcast I do on Mondays. And those have been very well received. And they're all on YouTube and my website. So I just try to do a little bit of something to leave the world. I always used to tell my middle school students when I taught 7th and 8th grade and always in the inner city. And I loved it. And I said, just leave the world a better place than when you found it. If you can leave the world better than when you came here, then you have your purpose.
That's right. That is great. That's a awesome message to instill in people and to your students, to leave the world a better place. You know?
Yeah.
And that is a message that we all need to heed.
Yeah. Because I always used to tell them, because they would tell me, oh, I'm going to go up and be a star basketball player or a star football player or whatever. And that's all well and good. Yeah. And I said, what do you love to do? You know, if you do what you love to do, the money will come.
Yeah.
Because you will be on your path. You'll be on your purpose. And when you have that purpose, then you have that determination to get that purpose out there. You have that focus. You have everything you need to make it happen.
That's right. That's right. And I like how you say, be on your purpose. You know, once you find that purpose, that strong why, you can, as Friedrich Nietzsche said, you know, when you have a strong why, you can endure almost anyhow.
Exactly. Yeah. And so many of them, I have clients too that work with me through Zoom or come over to the house or whatever, however they feel comfortable. And they'll say, well, how do I find my purpose? And my question to them always is, what do I love? What do you love to do? Yeah. And they might say, well, I love to listen to music. I love to do whatever. Okay, then take that skill and find a way to make money doing that skill. Yeah. And then you'll be happy doing it. Then you'll want to get out of bed in the morning. Then it won't be a drudgery. Then it won't be work. It'll be a passion.
That's right. Yeah, you know, that's one of the things that I've been experiencing, particularly with this podcast and other things I'm doing. When you really enjoy what you're doing, getting up in the morning, you practically jump out of bed.
Yeah. When
you have a strong purpose and a strong why, getting out of bed is, you know, like I said, you practically jump out and you're ready to do the things you want to do that make you happy, especially when you know you're being a service to someone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all in our choices that we make every day. And if you make a bad choice, okay, let it go. Don't beat yourself up for it. Too many people carry a bad choice with them for years and years and years. And okay, 2020 was a horrible year. This is true. Let it go. It's over. It's done. It's gone. Yeah. Let that baggage drop. And let's all work together now. Let's all encourage each other. Let's all inspire each other. And let's all be really enthusiastic and determined to bring great results to America and the world.
That's right. Bring great results. Very exhausted to everyone that you touch, everything that you're involved with.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's what I like to think about, Sid, is that, if I have one person read my truth of the day and come back with a comment, that makes my day. And even if somebody doesn't come back with a comment, if they just liked it or whatever, but every time I think to myself, well, I think I'm going to quit writing these truths of the day. Bingo. God sends somebody saying, this is just what I needed to hear today. And I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. I will keep writing them. Okay.
Matter of fact, that's why, you mentioned that you were resistant to being on Facebook, but now, as you say in your bio, you're a social networking influencer. Talk about that more.
I know. I went from Facebook, just a homepage, to my business page, which is Ask Mary Ellen, to Instagram, doing just posts and videos, to Twitter, to LinkedIn. I tried Tumblr for a while. That was a little bit much. So I usually basically use those four processes, but I've got probably 7,000 people that follow me on Twitter, over 6,000 on Facebook between my two pages. I got 5,000 on LinkedIn. I don't know. I look at that, and then I know numbers are good. And then what I want to do more is to reach people, through this broadcast. Hopefully I can reach somebody who will say, hey, I want to connect with her and read her truths of the day. So I'll go to Facebook at Ask Mary Ellen, and I'll follow her Ask Mary Ellen page, which is where I post my truths of the day. I mean, I was so great. I posted a picture last year of a bear walking in our neighborhood. That bear picture got over 700 likes. And I'm like, next time I write a truth of the day, I should just put a bear, right? Well, yesterday I wrote a truth of the day, and for some reason, everybody was just liking it. I ended up this morning looking at it to see how many hits it got. It got 1,200 likes. And I was like, I got to write about that more often. It's all about just reaching one person who reaches another person who reaches another person. And then all good, all great.
All great. Got a little feedback.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Your mic's turned off. I can't hear you. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I was getting feedback.
Okay.
So tell us about some of your other accomplishments, about things like being selected, one of the 30 women in America to write an inspirational essay, and featured in other publications and things like that. The featured writer in funandfit.com. Tell us about those other things that you've been able to accomplish.
Well, I go through a site every day. It's called HARO, which is Help a Reporter Out. And I'll just scan different things that people are looking for. And if I think it fits with me, if somebody's looking for somebody with MS to tell them about MS, or an inspiring person, or whatever, I will answer that query to that reporter. So this one lady, Caroline Shearer, was looking for women, inspiring women to write for her book. And she only wanted to pick 30. So I had to submit an essay to her. And she ended up doing a book called Women Will Heal the World. And it was 30 women who had put their stories together in this book. And I was featured in the Women of Strength. Strength. And then, so through those Help a Reporter Out queries, and it's free. So I really suggest it to a lot of people who are looking for people to come on their shows, or if you want to connect with somebody. It goes by the initials HARO, and they'll send them to you 3 times a day. You sign up for what categories you want, and it really helps you to connect with a lot of people. So when I was first coming out, Fun and Fit wanted an article about fitness and knowing how I worked out with epilepsy and MS, and still worked out. And, you know, a lot of my friends at the sports club, sports barn, knew that I had to stand in a place where there was a fan, and I had to use certain weights, because if I got too hot, I would start walking like I'm drunk.
Wow.
I'm not drunk, but it was the MS kicking in. So I had to stop and cool down. So, you know, I wrote articles about that. I wrote a lot of different articles to begin with to get my reputation verified that, hey, I am who I am. And yes, if I connect with you, I will be there, and I'm responsible, and I'm determined to succeed in what God wants me to do.
Wow. And you're dealing with MS. Tell us more about that, your determination in dealing with that. You know, you said you have to, you know, work out in a certain way. Tell us other things that you've had to do to help you overcome dealing with MS.
Well, number one, MS is the hardest thing that I've ever had to deal with in my life, because you never know how you're going to be when you wake up. I've woken up before and my eyesight's been all weird. It's not that it totally goes away, but instead of seeing one of you, I would see four of you. I woke up one morning and fell to the floor. I didn't have any legs, and that lasted about 3 months. And little by little, they came back. And I realized that diet is very important to MS. So I'm very strict with what I eat and what I don't eat. I religiously work out, and now I'm working out downstairs in my home. Since I was an exercise teacher, I can do my own stuff down home, and I have hand weights and a couple of Bowflex machines that I use. And it's so important what we put into our bodies. It's so important, you know, to flush your system with water, room temperature water, and water with lemon, so you can detoxify your system. And I've studied a lot of different therapies to get my healing. I studied Ayurvedic healing, which is a form of healing they do in India. And in India, they have 3 doshas. Now, a dosha is a body type. They have a vata, a pitta, and a kapha. Now, I'm a vata pitta. I'm a cross between 2 doshas. And I was having a lot of pain with my MS in my arms. It would look like somebody had burned me. I would wake up in the morning and there'd be a hot spot on my arm. And then the next day it would kind of ooze. And then the third day it'd be a scab. So I would go to a doctor and they go, oh, somebody's burning you. I'm like, no, somebody is not burning me. And it was just really weird what was happening. And it hurts. I mean, it hurt so bad. So the Ayurvedic healer said, since I was a vata pitta, I had a lot of fire in my system. And in order to put out this fire, I needed to put organic coconut oil on my arms and on my legs. So now I put organic coconut oil on my arms, and I put a t-shirt on, and then I'll go to bed that way. And I haven't had any pain since I've been doing that. And it's amazing the natural cures you can find. They're not easy to find. And when you connect with the right people and in your knowing, see, I teach people to get into their knowings, which is their gut or their soul, and get out of their ego mind, get out of that thinking mind. Because your thinking mind keeps you stuck in a house of unawareness. Your thinking mind says, you would have, you should have, you could have. But your knowings are your truth that God wants you to follow, that the universe wants you to follow. And when you're always in your knowings, that's when you have your determination. That's when you find your destination. That's when you find your purpose and your passion from your knowings. When you get out of this, what I call, excuse my language, your ego crap of the mind, right? So it hasn't been an easy journey. And, you know, sometimes the MS will pull me down. I mean, depression is part of MS and it'll just sink. And what I try to do then is I'll try to work out even harder. Or when I feel fatigued, and fatigue is horrible with MS. It's not just a fatigue like you need more sleep. It's a fatigue that you cannot open your eyes. Wow. So I will make myself go and work out, even with that fatigue. And when I'm through, it's like your body is telling your mind, hey, I can do this anyway. But you have to make yourself. And there are days when I haven't done it, when I've just given into it. And every day I do that, I'm so I'm just mad at myself at the end of the day. That why did I give in to this MS monster? I got to get him back in his cave. It's a journey.
But, the fact that you work out, it helps so much, because no matter what condition you're dealing with, being as fit as you can be within that condition is very helpful. Sometimes doctors advise people not to work out, or do things not to stress the body, and many times that may not be the best advice. You have to put a certain amount of stress on the body to help it build itself up, to build up its natural defenses. And it seems like that's helped you out a lot.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And people have to understand that doctors are good, because a lot of times when people hear me speak, they say, oh, you're against doctors. No, I'm not against doctors. I have many doctors that I go to, and they know me well enough to know if I call them and I say I need X, Y, or Z, they don't even question it, because they know I know my body. Now, what works for my body will not work for everybody's body. I mean, it just doesn't go that way. And people have to understand that doctors are people, and people make mistakes. So if a doctor gives you a prescription and you take that prescription and you feel horrible, then why are you continuing to take it? Call him, say, hey, this makes me feel horrible. I can't take it anymore, or I won't take it anymore. And, find your path. Find a medication that does work for you, or find another alternative medicine that would work for you. I'm not against doctors at all. I just think that sometimes doctors have different motives for keeping somebody on a medication, and that's not right.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. And, during this COVID situation, what, as far as overall healing, not just of the body, but dealing with your mind and your spirit, the holistic, our holistic being, what have you been experiencing yourself personally, and with people you're dealing with? What types of things have you advised people? What things have you been doing to help you deal with it? This situation, how are you dealing with the situation and helping other people deal with it?
Well, vitamin D, you need to keep your vitamin D levels up. I've been taking vitamin D for my MS for many years. And with the COVID situation going on, I've even upped it. And you can't really, I take 2 5,000 milligram tablets a day. And people will say, well, that's too much. And I'm like, well, it's been working for me. So, okay. Turmeric is very good for people to take to fight COVID. And also having a Z-Pack on hand, which is erythromycin, because that's the antibiotic they give to people when you start coming down with it. And see, the other thing that we learned from some Chinese friends of ours is, Vicks Vapor Rub is a little jar. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you take that and you take a Q-tip and put just a little bit in your nose, it'll stop if the COVID virus tries to get up there, it can't get up into your system because the Vicks is there, and it keeps it out of your system. So whenever I go out, even if you have a mask on, if that mask, sometimes it's only to here or whatever, that Vicks Vapor Rub really helps. And I have 10 milligram prednisone pills that I can take for my MS when it acts up. And prednisone is another therapy they're using with COVID. So if I feel like I might be coming down with a little bit, I always take a 10 milligram pill or whatever. Wow. There are different natural therapies out there against COVID. You just have to find them, and they're not easy to find.
That's right. Yeah, those things are good to know, because whether you're, no matter what you're going to do, anything you can do to naturally boost your immune system is always going to help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, beta glucan is really good to boost your immune system. Quercetin is really good. Of course, vitamin C is good. You just don't want to take too much of that because that will give you a kidney stone if you take too much of it. So I tend to back down on that one. Evening primrose oil is good for anybody with MS because the oil in it tends to coat the brain, which is where the MS acts up. There are a lot of natural healings out there, and they're all good for everybody.
That's great. That's good for people to know about some of the natural remedies that can assist your immune system.
But you know, one of the best remedies, Sid, is to drink water.
Drink water.
Flush your system with water. And room temperature water is better for your system than cold water. Cold water is a shock to your system, whereas room temperature water will assimilate into your body quicker.
That's right. That's a very good thing for people to know because, you know, in our society, we're so used to being conditioned to put ice or have ice cold drinks, a refreshing drink. A lot of times people don't know, as you said, that it's the room temperature water that really does help our system.
Yeah, it really is. And stay away from carbonated beverages. Anything carbonated is bad for you. I don't care what it is. Because if I ask you, what in nature, what is natural that is carbonated?
Wow, that's right.
There's nothing. So stay away from that carbonation and drink more water.
So what are your future plans for yourself and your business, Mary Ellen?
Well, I really want to, I'm going to take my Miracles with Mary Ellen podcast that I've been doing for the past year and take all those writings and try to put those into a Miracles by Mary Ellen book. I'm going to keep doing those, keep pushing my truths of the day in my books. And this one has a peacock in it on the front of it. You know why it has a peacock on it, Sid?
Why?
You know how peacocks get their feathers?
Actually, no, I don't.
They eat thorns. And the harder the thorn is to digest, the more beautiful the color in the tail.
I didn't know that.
So I relate that to people, to us going through our trials and tribulations. The harder the trial is, and we learn from it, we have to learn from it, then the more beautiful, peaceful, loving person we become inside. So that's why the peacock's on the cover of Truth, Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healing. And I've got a dove on the cover of my second edition of Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire.
Hold it up a little more, Mary Ellen. Hold the book up a little more.
Okay.
Hope everybody sees that.
This one.
All right. Very good.
Thank you, Sid. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And then y'all go to my website at askmaryellen.com.
All right. And that's usually what I end with, telling people, asking to tell people how they can get in contact with you, you know. So askmaryellen.com. Any other way on social media?
Well, Ask Mary Ellen's my business page. Mary Ellen Ciganovich, if you could spell it. It's my homepage. Conversations Live News Network carries my truths of the day, Cyrus Webb, and his store. If you just Google Ask Mary Ellen, you'll find me.
All right. And before we end, Mary Ellen, give us a truth of the day.
A truth of the day. Hold on. Let me see what I flipped to. The longer you dwell on your misperceptions, the greater the power these problems have over you. When you dwell on your misperceptions, berating yourself for your wrongdoings, you give these misfortunes great power over you. So much power they happen over and over and over again. And you wonder why. You must focus on the life you want to have as if it already is that way. Misperceptions, misfortunes happen to everyone. Let them go. Learn from them. Go forward and create the wonderful life God, the universe, intends for you to live. Today, let go of all misperceptions. Write them down on a piece of paper, burn it, shred it, symbolically letting them go. And remember to enjoy your day.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's right. What are you giving power to?
Yeah.
Let it go. Thank you so much for being on, Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Sid. I appreciate this opportunity.
You're very welcome.
Good
And
luck in 2021.
hey, my saying is getting it done. Get it done in 21.
That's a good one. I like that.
Get it done in 21. And now we're closing out. This is Sid Owsley with my guest, Mary Ellen Ciganovich. It has been great hosting you, Mary Ellen.
Thank you.
This is Sid Owsley from the Determination Determines Destination podcast, where we share stories of people who use what I call the 3Ds to success. Determination determines destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in their lives. It's been great. Stay tuned for another episode in the very near future and have an awesome day.